The murder of Iryna Zarutska, a refugee's dream, ends in Charlotte on August 22, 2025. A 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee named Iryna Zarutska got on a light rail train in Charlotte, North Carolina, hoping for a quiet ride home after a day of work and study. She had fled war, embraced a new life in America, and lived with the simple hope of peace. But that night, everything changed. In an unprovoked act of violence, she was stabbed 3 times, including once in the neck in a train car full of strangers. She died at the scene. This is the story of how one moment turned hope into heartbreak, and how her death exposed cracks in public safety, mental health, and justice in the United States. Iryna Zarutska was born in Ukraine. When the Russian invasion intensified, she and her family made the painful decision to leave their homeland in search of safety. At 23, Iryna came to the U.S., settling in Charlotte, North Carolina. She studied English at a community college and worked in a local pizzeria. Friends remember her as kind, hopeful, and determined, someone with dreams of a peaceful life and a heart that cared deeply for others. She often spoke about wanting to contribute to society and found small joys in everyday things: art, animals, and even caring for neighbors' pets when they were away. She had faced loss and fear back home, but arriving in the U.S., she believed she had been given a second chance, one that would allow her to rebuild and live freely. That fragile sense of hope would be shattered in a single tragic moment as she stepped onto the train on August 22nd. It was approximately 9:55 p.m. on the evening of August 22, 2025, when Iryna boarded the Lynx Blue Line light rail in Charlotte. Surveillance video shows her sitting quietly in the train car, scrolling on her phone. She had no interaction with anyone, just another passenger on her way home after a long day. For a few minutes, everything appeared normal, calm, and routine. Roughly 4 minutes after the train departed, a man sitting behind her, later identified as Decarlos Dejuan Brown Jr, age 34, suddenly pulled a pocket knife from under his hoodie and stabbed Iryna 3 times from behind. One of the wounds struck her neck. She had no time to defend herself, no chance to even react. The brutality of the act was shocking in its speed and silence. After the attack, Brown walked a short distance inside the train, calmly as if nothing had happened before exiting at the next station platform. Waiting officers immediately arrested him on the spot. Iryna, despite rapid emergency response, was pronounced dead at the scene. The entire act appeared random, unprovoked, and chilling in its cold immediacy. Decarlos Dejuan Brown Jr, 34 years old, was quickly identified through surveillance footage, video evidence, and eyewitness accounts. His background paints a disturbing picture. Brown had a long criminal history, at least 14 prior arrests. Before this case, some involving theft and robbery, others linked to violent behavior. Despite repeated encounters with law enforcement, he was often released back into the community. Mental health played a significant role in his life. Brown had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and family members revealed that he believed government agents had implanted material inside his body, that voices were constantly controlling him, and that he suspected strangers of reading his mind. Audio recordings of conversations with his sister after the arrest support these delusional claims. Just days before the attack, he had asked his mother for shelter, but instead was sent to a homeless facility. His instability was escalating, and yet no system intervened in time. Importantly, there is no evidence suggesting Iryna and Brown ever interacted prior to the incident. Investigators believe she was chosen at random, a victim of chance caught in the path of a man lost in untreated delusions. Soon after the attack, Brown was arrested and formally charged with first-degree murder by the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. Charlotte on September 9, 2025, the U.S. Department of Justice escalated the case further, filing federal charges against him. 1 count of committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system. This federal charge is extremely serious, carrying the possibility of life imprisonment or even the death penalty, depending on how the trial proceeds. Officials such as U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson labeled the attack a terroristic act and emphasized the importance of justice, accountability, and urgent reforms to strengthen public safety on transit systems nationwide. He noted that an assault inside public transportation not only endangers a single victim, but creates fear for every commuter who depends on these systems daily. Charlotte's mayor and transit authorities also responded quickly, promising visible changes: increased security personnel, stronger fare enforcement, and broader oversight of safety in the city's public transport network. The video footage of the attack, showing Iryna sitting alone, being attacked from behind, and passengers reacting in shock spread quickly on social media. It ignited national outrage. People demanded answers. Why was Brown free despite his history? Why did transit security seem so minimal? Why wasn't she safe? Iryna's family released a statement. "We are heartbroken beyond words. Iryna came here to find peace and safety, and instead her life was stolen from her in the most horrific way." They also asked media not to share footage of the killing, out of respect. Officials responded. Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles called the killing senseless and tragic. Authorities proposed stronger security on platforms and trains, more security personnel, both armed and unarmed, and measures like fare enforcement, improved ticket validation, and reviewing private security contracts. This case revealed many deeper concerns beyond the tragedy itself. Mental health and justice system. Failure. Brown's history shows untreated mental illness. Despite multiple arrests, there was no ongoing treatment or effective monitoring. Transit security gaps. The train car had no security staff. Presence of police in other cars did not prevent the attack. Protocols for safety and surveillance faced scrutiny, public safety, and vulnerable populations. Refugees, people commuting, those relying on mass transit, often feel exposed. Iryna, someone who fled war, was killed while simply riding a train. Policy and prevention debates. Cashless bail. How? Repeat offenders are handled. Oversight of law enforcement and transit agency responsibilities, all are being questioned. Even with the charges in place, many questions remain. What was Brown's true motive? Was it purely delusion? Was it racial bias? Public statements from Brown suggest delusions, reading his mind, artificial material in his body, yet authorities haven't officially confirmed a hate crime designation. How much responsibility does the transit authority have? How much could better safety, better surveillance, or better staffed security have prevented this? What about mental health infrastructure? Brown asked to stay with his mother, had interactions indicating psychotic behavior, yet system didn't. Provide sustained care. How should society balance civil liberties, bail policies, mental health, and public safety? Her death will likely influence policies and debates around transit safety in Charlotte and elsewhere. It will remain a tragic example, a warning of what can happen when multiple systems fail someone who otherwise was simply trying to live a safe, ordinary life. The story of Iryna Zarutska is not just another tragic case. It's a mirror reflecting many of society's deepest vulnerabilities. A woman who fled war, seeking peace and opportunity, lost her life in an instant. It is a call to re-examine how we treat mental illness, how we ensure safety on public transit, and how justice systems protect the vulnerable, not just prosecute. If you felt moved by Iryna's story and believe such tragedies must not go unnoticed, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more true crime stories that dive into the systems behind the headlines. Her life, though short, demands remembrance, and her death demands change.